sorrow, grief, sadness, anguish, depression. Now, let's face it, we've all gone through things like this, through emotions like this. And maybe, yeah, you've never really been depressed in any sense of the word, but at least I'm sure we've all experienced what it's like to have an emotional burden. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about three topics. Number one, my personal experience with depression. Number two, how to handle people with depression. And number three, how to handle being depressed. I think I just have to say this. The things you hear me say in this video are things based on what I've experienced as a person. And I really do hope you gain something from this. After all, that's the point of me, coming to share my personal experience so that you know this thing happened to someone. This thing happened to me. It's not just like I went to the internet and picked a few points and decided to talk about it. Nah, that would be tasteless. So yeah, it's based on my personal experience. Now, without any further ado, let me go straight to it. This is my personal experience. You see, it all happened in 2020. 2020, I really don't know where that year came from. That year was like a cursed year for me. That was my worst year ever. 2020. It happened late January slash early February. I really can't recall the exact date. But yeah, that's basically when it happened. And I was suspended for one academic year, like one whole year. And then it really messed with me because it was a situation where the punishment didn't fit the crime. Now, I won't go into details and tell you exactly what happened because this video will be very long because I really have to go into details. But basically, that's what happened. I remember I was home when I saw this message. I took a nap, and when I woke up, immediately I woke up, I checked my phone and I got a notification. And when I opened to read the message, it read Mr. blah 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 blah, meaning my name. You'll be suspended for a whole academic year. Come to school to take your suspension letter. Now, when I read this, my heart skipped a bit. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I was numb. I was thinking. Well, now here's the funny thing. I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was just thinking about what I really don't know. But I was just thinking. It's like I was thinking blank. Like I was just thinking about a particular black background or something. I really don't even know what to say. But basically, I'm just trying to explain to you how it was for me. A few days later, after reality set in, I started thinking proper. I started overthinking about many things. What will people say? Why did this happen to me? Then basically thinking if there was a bad woman following me or something. You understand? Just basically overthinking about many crazy things. I was like, oh, so my mates are going to graduate before me, blah blah blah. Me, but why would this happen to me, not someone else? And then immediately I got this letter. That's when my depression started because I saw it as a pause in my future. Because the normal plan is, or rather, the idea is that you graduate school, go to serve, then get a job or anything. I was like, damn. So this is not happening to me anytime soon. Fighting depression from suspension. My grandma died. I really loved that woman. She was my favorite human. When I don't say I grew up being misunderstood, but she was the person that really understood me the most. And I really, really did love her. And she died. Now, that case was another case that didn't even make sense to me. Because, yeah, I knew she had some health issues, but to be honest, I really didn't think it was that serious. It's like when we took her to the hospital the evening prior to when she died. She wasn't even all that sick. Like, we didn't even rush her to the hospital. But then the next morning, she was fine. She even told me to go home, freshen up, and she will soon be coming home, things like that. So basically, I get a call later on that she's dead. Fighting depression from suspension, I started fighting anger. Like, I was so angry. I was fucking angry at everything because it wasn't even making sense. Like, this woman wasn't all that sick. Why are you telling me that she's dead? And that was another reality I had to cope with. Seeing my favorite human was gone. Have you ever been so depressed and you felt like you broke the scale? Like you felt you broke the scale of depression? Because that's how I felt. I wasn't just depressed anymore. I was tired of everything. I was tired of life. I was tired of myself. I was tired of everything. I just wanted to die. I was so convinced that, okay, Zode, anytime now, you'll be leaving. That's honestly how I was. I started doing things I won't do normally. I started rolling with people that I wouldn't, keeping bad friends, doing bad things, living reckless. I started doing that because I wanted to die, but I didn't want to kill myself. I didn't want to die by suicide. I just wanted it to be like, oh, something happened. He rode with the bad guys. He died. Because now, here is the thing: when you hear someone killed his or herself, it makes you worry the more. I didn't want to put an additional burden to my family or friends, well-wishers, people close to me, basically. I was trying to avoid people thinking, too far. I didn't want them to think, oh, how was he when he was alive? Blah 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 blah. He didn't tell us he was going through all this. Blah blah. Things. What you, that what comes to your mind when you hear someone kill his or herself. I didn't want anyone to think that way. I just wanted it to be like, oh, shit happens. He died. You get so. That's really happened for a long time. I'm talking months, like 4 months. I just looked around, I looked at my family, and I told myself, they really don't deserve this. I really don't need to put them in, so much pain. Yeah, and that's how me wanting to kill myself or die, just erased from my mind. Another reason I'm telling you all my personal experiences because I don't really believe there are general signs for you to know if someone is depressed. Just the same way our face varies, I feel it also varies. Because here is the thing: when I was depressed, I was doing things normally, or rather, you see it as me doing things normally, you see it as normal. I was, living life normal. You see it that way. Come online, post memes, post this, post that. People will see me, will talk, will just will hang out, things like that. No one knew shit. And that's why I want to encourage you all to be good to everyone you see. Just be loving, just be kind. You don't have to be harsh, you don't have to be rude, because you don't know what people are fighting inside. You don't know the battles that person is fighting in his or her life. So just try to make the world a better place for someone close to you, because trust me, we all need that love. Now, before I go to the second phase of this video, which is how to handle people with depression, mommy, in case you're watching this, scratch that. As a matter of fact, I know you are watching this because I really don't know how you got the link to this channel. I really don't know how you knew about this channel. But anyways, in case you are watching this, I know you'll be surprised, asking yourself, wow, did I really go through all these things? Yes, boo boo, your son did. Handling people with depression. I feel the most important point, and this is what I always tell people, the most important thing when handling people with depression is to listen. Now, no offense, but some of you really need to shut the fuck up. Like, you don't always have to talk. Because take it or not, some people just want you to listen. All the advice you feel you want to give, they know it already. That's some of them anyway. So your advice will somewhat be used. Of course, it's not be useless, but that's not what they need you for. Okay, they just want you to listen. So next time, in case your depressed friend or someone around you that is depressed comes, pouring out their feelings, you can be sure. Just ask them, okay, so do you want me to listen or do you want me to, advise you on what to do? That's just it. Simple. Now, the second way to handle people with depression is to validate their feelings. Now, you see, in this life, and you may have noticed it, we are all built different. The fact you could handle something doesn't mean another person can. You get? And you don't always have to, make them feel they are weak. Because, take for instance, the things I've endured in the past, my personal experience made me stronger. And you would think that will make me insensitive to another person, but no, I'm not insensitive to the other person's feeling, because it may be that, okay, yeah, that person hasn't gotten to where I've gotten, in terms of handling things. You get the particular threshold. Maybe that person really hasn't gotten to my threshold of endurance, and that's fine. We all grow up in different ways. Life happens to people different, so don't make them feel crazy for feeling the way they are feeling, or don't give them the impression that they are weak, because like I said, everyone is built different, physically, emotionally, mentally, any way at all. People are built different, so make sure you validate their feelings. Tell them that they're fine, that they're okay to feel that way, that you totally get it. Then work on the next step. The third way of handling people with depression is to know what support actually sounds and feels like. Some of you really don't know what support feels like. You just think it's by telling the person, oh, you'll be fine, you'll so get out of it, it's a phase, it's a pass. No, that's not it at all. Now you can say things like, I know that's difficult, how can I help? I'm here for you. You can give them a hug. Trust me, hug works. Hugs work. Yeah, hugs work. Hugs heal, yes. You can say, I can't imagine how that must feel like. Because let's be honest, you really can't. You are not them. You really don't know exactly how they are feeling, or rather the way they are feeling it. So yes, you can say things like, I can't imagine how you are feeling. Then lastly, thank them for telling you what they told you. No depressed person will want to be seen as a burden to another person. So the fact you are thanking them for telling you what they just told you only goes to show how much you care about them, and that can influence their healing process in a positive way. It works like magic. So yeah, this little, or rather this not so little support are really what goes a long way. Not just by saying, oh, you'll be fine, blah 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 blah. Nah, that's not it at all. The final segment of this video, how to stop being depressed, or how to handle depression. First things first, make up your mind you want to stop being depressed. Now, I don't want to say depression is addictive, but just like the way you're addicted to something, you know it's killing you, you know it's not healthy, you know it's not good. You want to stop, but for some reasons you just can't stop. That's how depression is. So don't just go, oh, let me just try being happy. No. Make up your mind, be intentional about it. The first step to battling depression is intentionality. That's just the way I say it. Be sure you want to stop being depressed. The second way of dealing with depression is to prioritize healing over becoming stronger. I see this commonly with guys, in the sense that most guys don't know the difference between healing from something and becoming stronger than that thing. And I really don't blame them, because in the world of today, when someone is in trying times, let's say a guy, the first thing people tell that guy is be a man, snap out of it. And that's really not good if you think about it deeply, because then if you say, oh, snap out of it, be a man, that person wants to be stronger than that thing. At that moment, the person doesn't see any use of healing from that thing. Instead, he confuses it with being stronger than it. And what happens is that you don't necessarily become stronger than that thing. It's just that you find a stronger way of distracting yourself from that pain or whatever you were feeling. And when that thing is over, and when that thing is done, reality will hit in, and then you go back to square one. So yeah, take as much time as you need into healing. The world can wait. Focus on you first. And the third point is therapy. Now, I'm not shitting on anybody's profession, but you can think of it this way with me. The fact you have to pay for your own sanity, it doesn't really sit well with me, because after all, why do you have your friends, family, well-wishers, and people around you? Can you see why? But if you don't have anyone to trust and confide in, then by all means, go seek professional help. Also, if you don't have anyone in your circle to trust and confide in the shit that goes through your head, then you should consider changing your circle, because you'll be surprised those are parts of the reasons you are depressed. And lastly, in handling depression, it's so imperative you have a strong mindset. It's so imperative you have a strong mindset, because in life everything happens for a reason, either as a blessing or as a lesson. Either way, you have to see it as a win-win. If it's a blessing, of course it favors you, and if it's a lesson, you feel from it, you learn from it, you get stronger from it, you get more experience. Of course, it's not that easy. That's why you need to have a strong mindset to see it that way, and it helps. And remember, it's just a bad day or a bad period, not a bad life. The only thing constant is change, and in life we all want to level up. But unknown to many, when you unlock a new level in life, you unlock a new devil. So you could see trying times as the universe trying to prepare you to get stronger for the new devil you are going to encounter in the new level of life. Even if I had a time machine, I won't change anything I experienced in the past because of the outcome. It made me more focused, and above all, it made me stronger. Now, to that person that may be watching this video, I don't know who you are, but just somehow, I feel you might be so familiarized with what having to cope with pain and depression is. It takes your heart and steals your mind, and it's as though you feel you've died because you've been killed inside, but yeah, you're still alive, which means you will survive. In conclusion, life is not all roses and unicorns. Life is a battleground, I can say it that way. And to fight it, you don't fight it by rising to your delusional level of expectation. You fight the battle by falling to your realistic level of training. That being said, it's okay to be sad. It's accepted. But try your best not to fall into depression.